Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Happy Friday and welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show here on WKYC. Thanks for spending time with us. I'm Jay Crawford. Over the next 30 minutes, we're talking Cleveland sports. We're going to break down Jameis Winston this week with our quarterback guru, Sean King, who thinks we should all be more open-minded about the Browns' new quarterback. Jason.
I'm Jason Lloyd. Old friend J.B. Bickerstaff is in town tonight. Cavs home opener. They had a great win the other night. They kick it off at home tonight. We're going to talk about it.
I'm Earl of Pearl. Last Sunday was rough, but I'll tell you why Jameis Winston and Ken Dorsey will give the Cleveland Browns fans a breath of fresh air.
And I'm Anthony Antonelli, here to tell you that we've looked into the future. You don't have to watch the games. We got your pre-written headlines coming at you.
I don't think anyone wants to watch this one.
So you're telling me we can save a lot of folks 3 hours of anxiety and...
That's what my job here is for. I make the headlines so you guys don't have to watch.
It's like a magic elf, that Anthony. All right, Ant, thanks. We appreciate it. We're going to start by talking about the Cleveland Browns offense. It's so weird. To me, I think if there was a quarterback play caller combo that fit, it would be Jameis Winston and Kevin Stefanski. If there's another quarterback play caller combo that fit, I would think it would be Ken Dorsey and Deshaun Watson. So just on time, as Jameis Winston becomes the quarterback, Kevin Stefanski is no longer calling plays, and it's Ken Dorsey. It's the guy who's most suited to call plays for the other quarterback. Make it make sense, Jason.
I cannot make it make sense. Look, the only viable explanation that I will believe is that there are so many problems across the offense right now that Kevin feels like, and really across the entire team, special teams as well, that Kevin feels like I have to dig in and see what's going on. So many pre-snap motion penalties, so many alignment penalties, false starts, illegal motion, two guys in motion, lined up in the neutral zone, which I've never seen before on the offensive side, where I just think Kevin feels like we've got fires everywhere. I have to help try and put these out. That's the only thing that is somewhat logical.
I did see a rare breaking point for Kevin last week.
Oh, he's broken.
Well, on the field, he's always been pretty buttoned up and stoic, and you can't tell what's going on. But there, after the offensive penalty, that one that you're talking about, which was particularly inexcusable.
Cost him a touchdown momentarily.
It cost him a touchdown. He was angry for a moment, and I said that's a good thing. Like, get angry, get upset, because we're upset, and we want to know that you're upset too, and do something about it. So my thinking is maybe he decided, you know what, I can't get this done as a department head. I need to be the CEO, and he finally gave up play calling, which he said all along he likes. What does the offense look like with these two? Dorsey and
Jameis. We can only go up from here, right? I think this will be the week that the Cleveland Browns will actually score over 20 points.
Really?
I really think this will be the week that this happens. I think it'll look better because, this is a spread offense. Dorsey's offense has been known to be a downfield attacking offense that takes big shots, and that's what Jameis Winston has done best throughout his NFL career, been a quarterback that can move the ball in chunks down the football field. I think overall, though, Jason, I think that this will be a huge energy boost for our fan base who are pretty ticked off still after last Sunday and kind of seemingly been attacked by some of the players.
Yeah.
And so you want to kind of serve your fan base something fresh and something new. Two things that we knew that the fans was frustrated with: Deshaun Watson at quarterback, Kevin Stefanski calling the plays.
Those are out.
So this week, you get a brand new quarterback in Jameis Winston, and you get a brand new quarterback play caller and Ken Dorsey. Hopefully it's a breath of fresh air. Hopefully it's something that kind of gives the team an energy boost and the fan base alike.
Jason, can they do that? I mean, it's on paper, it's nice to say, let's go downfield and take some chunks. Do they have the wide receivers to do that?
They have some of the slowest receivers in the league who can't create separation.
Other than that, they're great.
And outside of Amari, who's no longer here, who struggle to catch contested passes. So, and I've said this before on the YouTube show, it doesn't mean you can't win with these guys. You can. I believe you can. But you have to use them appropriately. And putting the quarterback in the pocket, patting the ball for 4 seconds on go routes is not it. Not with this group of receivers. So really, the way to do it, the personnel is designed to fit the offense they ran last year. And the offense you started to see come back last week with a couple more 13 personnel plays with 3 tight ends on the field, even 2 tight ends on the field. Now, they don't have necessarily the tight ends that they had in the past because, again, you were trying to veer toward this offense. So Harrison Bryant's not here, who wasn't great, but he was a decent backup tight end. So you're really down to Jordan Akins and David Njoku. And then if you're going to 3 tight ends, you're using an lineman as that 3rd tight end just for extra blocking. But if you run play action, if you establish the run, play action, deep shots on 3rd down, you can win with this offense. You can win with these receivers. You just can't do it on certain patterns. And unfortunately, for most of this year, they've been trying to do it on patterns that these receivers are not equipped to run. And that's not me saying that, by the way. We have all of the data now. They do an incredible job with next-gen stats, and some of these other companies, the true media companies, they can measure everything, and they can rank everything. And the Browns rank at the bottom in terms of straight speed of receivers on deep routes, creating separation, contested catches. We have all of that data, and the Browns are at the bottom in all of those categories.
Wow. Okay, it will be tough to overcome that. The one thing about Jameis Winston that I think we're all anxious to find out, what's the new and improved Jameis Winston look like? We saw it for a bit last year in New Orleans. He had success. But this is still the same guy that threw 2 interceptions a game on average for 2 years. He also threw for 4,000 yards and a lot of touchdown passes. The question is, can you keep the good and wash out the bad? The one fascinating element of all of this, Baker was a fiery leader at quarterback. And we see it now in Tampa. His guys are following him off a cliff if he goes there. We saw it here for a while. I think back to that first game against the Jets. He was a leader, and they responded. Jameis is a leader. I've talked to guys that played with him both in college and at the professional ranks, talked to media that covered him during his days at Tampa. The one thing they all assured me was, you're going to love this guy's leadership skills. His leadership skills are off the chart. We've seen that a little bit in his personality-driven interviews, but that all goes out the window if you're losing. So we'll see how that translates.
That unofficial C on his chest that he should have had from the very beginning, because when in the preseason he was the one rallying the troops. I heard that they had a players-only meeting. He was the guy who called that meeting.
Yeah.
So
I want to see him lead a touchdown drive. That's what I want to see him lead.
after the first drive, after drive number one. After drive number one.
Watch. He goes on. They crush the Ravens, and all of a sudden, you're saying we've got a chance. All right, let's move on. And if you want to know from an X and O standpoint what to expect and what to see from Jameis Winston, there's nobody better to go to than Sean King, our quarterback guru, breaks down some of Jameis's tape and tells us what we can expect moving forward.
I want you to watch how fundamentally sound Jameis Winston is, right? I always talk about it, right? You got to be calm when it's chaotic. Watch the chaos that happens in the pocket. I want you to watch Jameis. He keeps both hands on the ball. He's evasive. He has functional mobility, but his eyes stay downfield. Man, look, this is really good. Roll it right here. All right, we get to the top of our drop. We step in the pocket. We don't drift left or right. We keep both hands on the ball. We're intentional with where we throw it. Bullseye, right between the 1 and the 9. Cedric Tillman, boy, you're going to look good with James. Just watch it. Stop it here. Boom. Okay, look at that. He's eyeing to the left. Both hands are on the football. His feet are under him. His balance is perfect. Okay, we get colored at flashes. Roll it just a little bit. Mike, please. Watch how he steps up. 2 hands on the football, head still downfield. Now, if he had to throw the ball there, he could. Still stepping up in the pocket, keeps 2 hands on the field, gets all the way backside. Now, what most young guys do here is they run, but not Jameis. Remember, I told you he's already failed before in Tampa, right? Got some time in New Orleans, couldn't stay healthy. Don't put a ceiling on how good Jameis can be in Cleveland. That's all I'm going to say. Look at here. If you're a Cleveland fan, it might be time to get excited. Football gods, and I mean GAWDS. I know they're somewhere laughing. Baker Mayfield failed in Cleveland. Now he's balling in Tampa. Jameis Winston failed in Tampa. Could the reverse happen as well? Well, he had a couple plays at the end of this Bengals game there. Boy, look, you guys are going to be excited to see. So we can roll it here. First of all, just watch how comfortable Jameis is in his pocket. In rhythm, one hitch, ball out, boom. I mean, that's how you draw it up, right? This is what it should look like. Now, granted, let's put some context. It's 21-7. Maybe since he's playing a little softer, but that's exactly what, from time to time, the quarterback previously kind of struggled with, which was anticipation and timing. And Jameis comes in, and, man, he's looking really, really good. For great players to be great, and I do think Njoku has great talent. He hasn't had great consistency. I don't know that all of that's his fault, but you got to give him an opportunity to make great things happen. And here's what I love about what Jameis does in this situation. And, I always teach quarterbacks a great throw can beat great defense 100% of the time. You just got to be willing to be intentional and be able to make the great throw and allow your talented, super talented, in this case, Njoku, pass catcher, to actually make you look good. So we rolling right here. Look, they are playing coverage here. This is what they call that picket fence coverage, guys all across the board. When Jameis lets this ball go, guess what? Njoku's not really open. And we'll pause it right here at the top. I mean, it's a lot of Bengals back there. 3 guys kind of in the area. If we keep running it, watch right before Jameis lets it go. Njoku not looking at him. All of a sudden, here's what Jameis sees. He's got leverage to the inside. And Njoku, I met him. He's a huge human being. I'm not going to throw a low ball where he's got to go down. You remember last week, he threw the slant kind of at his waistline. No, Jameis said, I'm going to let him high point the ball. Look at the ball location and watch this. And Njoku like, I'm a dog. All you got to do is let me out the cage. Well, Jameis let him out the cage. We'll see if they can continue the success. But remember, young quarterbacks, a great throw can beat great defense.
How good is he?
There's nobody better.
There really isn't. There's nobody better. I've met him. He's a big, he's a dog.
It's a large human being.
Let him out of the cage. He's right. Throw it high.
I'm ready for game time right now. Now all of a sudden, I've done an about face on this Browns season because Sean knows quarterback play. He really does. Man. And he sees that there's more than a little bit here. He seems to think, Jason, there's a lot here.
We'll see. I mean, he's got to do it more than garbage time against Cincinnati. He's going to have the opportunity in front of him, and we'll see how long the opportunity lasts. I fully believe if Dorian Thompson-Robinson was healthy, he would be under center. That's who the Browns want under center right now, and Jameis is sort of a stopgap. But if he goes out and plays well Sunday, I don't know how you take him out. He's going to keep getting opportunities.
Last year, the Browns did not want Flacco. They didn't. It was clear. They had multiple opportunities to bring him in. No. We kept saying, what are they waiting on? They finally brought him in. What did he do? He balled out.
Tore it up.
So if it's the Browns' instinct that they want DTR, Jameis is the best.
Maybe this is a full circle moment. My first ever show was with you two gentlemen, right?
It was.
My first show, the show after Joe Flacco's first game was with you two gentlemen.
Wow.
Right? I just did an entire about face. Remember when I said we was going wacko for Flacco, we was going to win 5 straight?
Yeah.
I'm riding with 5. I am going to ride with 5.
4's out the door.
4's out the door. We're going to ride with 5.
I kind of like that. That sounds like a bumper sticker.
We're going to ride with 5.
Hey, if you thought this city embraced Joe Flacco, if Jamus Winston comes in and does the same thing, we're more thirsty now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We know that Deshaun isn't going to be the answer here. We definitively know that. And so now, if 5 can come in and save the day, Jameis, you could run for mayor. You could run for mayor. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, how about the Cavaliers? They look great on opening night. Went north of the border and came home with a 30-point win. Tonight, they open at home against their old buddy J.B. Bickerstaff. We talk about it when the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on Channel 3 comes right back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Let's shift gears to the Cleveland Cavaliers now. And I have to say, I was a little bit surprised by what I saw on opening night in Toronto. Now, I had every expectation they would win the game. Toronto's not very good.
Right.
They also don't have a very good inside big presence. But about halfway through the second quarter, you've got Evan Mobley with 17 points, looking like he ate some sort of aggressiveness pills in the offseason. What the heck was that, and can we expect to see that all season?
Yeah, this is the plan. They have not hid from this. They've not run from this. They've made clear right away, like, they're going to put the ball in Evan's hands. They want to play through Evan a little bit more. They want to make him a focal point of the offense. Now, is he going to have nights like that every night? That's hard to say. Probably not. But, 50% of the games, can he play like that? Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. I've maintained on the show since the start, if they are going to win a championship, he has to be their best player. It's not Donovan Mitchell. It has to be Evan Mobley. And he's starting to show glimpses in the Boston series last year, the opening night against Toronto. He's starting to show glimpses that he can be that guy.
Am I imagining this, or did he look slightly more bulky?
I don't know.
Maybe I want it so badly.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow,
this is
he's
what he
thicker.
is.
He's thicker to me.
This is who he is. He's never going to be a guy who's going to really thicken up and bulk up.
No,
I
but
don't
you
think.
could add 15 pounds of muscle on that frame. And
Probably,
to me,
yeah.
I'd love to know what his weight is now compared to what it was last year. To me, he looks a little bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm overly impressed by just one game, and I'm trying not to jump out the gym.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just wait and let the season play out before I say, okay, that leap year for Evan Mobley is here. But, way to be encouraged. He even spoke about it in the post game. He said, I'm trying to pick up where I left off. He talked about that last game in Boston and how it transferred over. When Jared Allen was asked what did he think about Mobley's performance, what caught my attention was he said how calmly he did it, right? And it seemed like it wasn't something that was chaotic, or he just seemed in control the entire time, playing off ball with the ball in his hands. I look at this entire Cavs team. I think if Darius Garland can continue to build on his confidence and get himself back into game shape, we'll be okay. The funniest thing from that game, Donovan Mitchell played 28 minutes and scored 21 points. He has already scored more points than the Cleveland Browns offense.
Oh, no. Oh, that's not funny.
One thing on Mobley real quick. He's now, Boston was out Porzingis that entire series.
Yeah, he was.
And Toronto doesn't have the interior presence that he's going to see down the line. Now he has to do it. And that's not taking anything away from what he did. He was great. But now he has to do it against teams that are a little bit bigger and thicker inside.
We get Anthony Davis and LeBron James here next week.
So. So that'll be a very nice test. Boy, AD was nuts in their opener.
Yeah.
36.
He's playing.
He is absolutely playing. All right, I don't know if this is going to make any difference at all. I think they're going to win tonight. They should. They better. But JB is going to be on the other bench and in the other locker room tonight. Of course, Bickerstaff fired after they flamed out against the Celtics in the playoffs last year, and it was pretty much the organization did all but take out a billboard in the Cleveland Plain Dealer telling their fans it was the coach. They brought everybody else back but him. Awkward, exciting. Like, what is tonight? What do you expect?
The fans will give him a nice round of applause. Detroit's not very good. The Cavs should blow him out. And, I think JB did the job that was asked of him to do when he was here. And got him as far as apparently the Cavs felt like he could take them. And now they're going to in a more offensive direction. JB is very much a defensive-minded coach. I think he'll do great in Detroit. It's a young roster.
He kind of has there what he had here.
He has exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's sort of a mess right now, and you've got to clean it up and put it back together. I think he'll do a great job with that. It's kind of funny that it's this early in the year that he's coming back. Detroit played Indiana the other night. They opened at home, had a lead for a while, and kind of gave it away at the end. Pacers won it at the end, so they're coming in 0-1. But it's a good story. I think the fans will applaud him and give him the ovation that really he deserves. They are not where they are today, the Cavs, without the input of J.B. Bickerstaff. They were in a bad spot when he took over. John Beilein walked off that job halfway through his first year and said, I'm out. It was a bad spot to be in, and J.B. really picked up the pieces and put it back together.
I think for me, I think the fans will give him his due.
Yeah.
I think he will get a decent ovation. But when I look at the player side of things, I don't think the players hate J.B. Bickerstaff at all. But I do think the players will be out to prove something, even if it's just a regular game 2 of the regular season. I go back to some of the articles that was written towards the end of last year, and the level of frustration from some players kind of seeming to be, I don't know, for lack of a better term, held back.
He lost the locker room.
Like, he definitely lost the locker room.
It felt like he did.
You go back to the year prior in the playoffs against New York, basically making it seem like this team wasn't ready enough for the big stage, right? Or you just hearing the stories about them being in shoot-around or in practices with no real game plan, no real agenda about how to go about things. And I think frustration started to boil over. So these are the same players, and this is their opportunity to be like, hey, this is how it's done.
Yeah,
So.
I think the Cavaliers can kind of look back at the whole thing and say, this is the right way to do it. This is how it was done, and we did it right. I think you hit it right on the head, Jay. When he came here, it was a 5-alarm fire. This was like they didn't know what direction the franchise was going in. There was no stability. That whole experiment was
disaster.
David Blatt 2.0.
Yeah.
What I love about having some time to cool down and let the emotions of a disappointing end of the season wilt away, JB was really the perfect man for the job.
Mm-hmm.
And I even think you can make an argument that he actually overachieved. He is what he is. He built the infrastructure that the Cavs needed, he provided. He made them a defensive team. He turned the Titanic around. Mm-hmm. He got it going in the right direction. And I think ultimately the Cavs were hoping that he could grow in to the job, and he never really did. It was obvious in the Knicks series 2 years ago, way over his skis. The team did not perform well. It was a disaster considering how many games they won in the regular season. Last year, he took a nice step. Even though the Celtics were playing without some key pieces, so were the Cavs. Yeah. It was an okay showing. You know, it wasn't better or worse than the Knicks. Just they ended up losing to the eventual champion, and I thought they played them pretty well.
They did.
And so for JB, my hope is he gets a chance to do in Detroit what he did in Cleveland. And I agree with both of you guys. I think he's going to get a very nice round of applause and an ovation for providing some really nice memories over his time as the Cavs head coach.
As he should.
All right, we're going to take a break. No need to watch the game Sunday. As Anthony said at the start of the show, we've got it all mapped out. We've played the games in our mind. We've written the headlines, and we share them with you next. Wrap it up with headlines. Jason, you're first.
Well, I told you last week I can't pick the Browns again until they give us a reason to pick them again. So it's more of the same coming from me. Where's the bottom? New coordinator, new quarterback, or new play caller, new quarterback, same old result, 27-17 loss to the Ravens. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't see it. Jay, you've been saying all week the Ravens are a Super Bowl contender. I tend to agree with that. I don't know that the quarterback and play caller are going to make much of a difference.
Yeah, and give it to me, man. I'm pretty much in line with what you see, man. Jason, man, it's not about, a clear case of murder or not. You're trying to plea down, right? And so my plea down is, do the Cleveland Browns at least cover the spread? I think they will. And hit me with the headline. Let you know what our combo is. Denny's menu to Denny's booth. Ken Dorsey's offense. Nothing special as Ravens pick at the already dead Browns, man. Listen, when it rains and pours, if it look like a duck, if it quack like a duck, what is it?
It's a duck.
All righty.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's a clean sweep. I can't pick them either until they give me a reason to. I do think we're going to have reasons to cheer.
Yeah.
And in a lot of
that's a step in the right direction.
It's a step forward. Unfortunately for Jameis, his first game is going to be his toughest game. Yeah. I do think the Ravens are a Super Bowl team. In fact, right now, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I know that's big talk in early or not even November yet, but I think that's what's going to happen. I do think that the Browns' offense starts to show some life, and they'll build on that, and they'll slingshot that into the next week, but they're going to lose 34-20. Here's my headline. Losing continues. Ravens clown Browns. I did not, by the way, do the artwork on this. That was Ant. I would not put Kevin Stefanski in the clown suit. I would prefer that the owner was in the clown suit because I do think he is the leader of this three-ring circus. Want to get that clear right now, but an L is an L. But we will have reasons to cheer.
I think so.
If they hit 20 points, you get a ribbon for that.
I almost predicted 34-21, and then I said, no, I can't give them 21
Just give
yet.
them 20.
We'll miss an extra point.
We saw some good things last week. I think a few things, even from a loss, if you go back and you look at it. The Browns finally accumulated over 300 yards of total offense. They actually had more rushing yards and more passing yards than the Bengals did. Now, granted, we played three quarterbacks, so it was a team effort. It was a group effort.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where it came from.
That is something that you can build on. I think you looking at Nick Chubb and, you've seen the rust factor. You've seen him get his feet wet. You've seen him kind of start to get warmed up, and then he got one carry in the second half. So, with Nick back in the fold, with that first game under his belt, it'd be interesting to see how much that plays a factor. But this is a tall task, and Lamar right now is looking like a 3-time league MVP. When you get two tight ends, Andrew seems to be back in the fold. You got Likely, so now they got this dual tight end threat with this juggernaut rushing attack.
Yeah, the thing that scares me too, as we talk about an MVP candidate in Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry could send 4 or 5 Browns to the IR by himself. This is a multi-pronged attack. It won't be pretty. Monday, we're going to be really, really upset at the defense. At least that's my hope, or my guess. My hope is they win. Enjoy the game. We'll see you Monday.